Hi guys, it's Martha Mew here, and as you can see today we've got something slightly different. So I've decided that I'm a lot more sort of into the TCG these days, and like play-wise I mean. So I thought I'd go through what's in Sun and Moon 4, which is in Japanese The Awoken Hero and the Transdimensional Beast. So I'm on Poker Beach, and we've got all the cards here, just a quick flick there for you to see them. So I will include the link to this page in the description of the video so you can check it out yourself and go back to anything if you'd like. But yeah, this is what our set we're getting called Crimson Invasion, as it says here, which is being released for us English players on November the 3rd. So yeah, huge shout out to Poker Beach, they're awesome for providing these translations. So you can just see the visual representation of some of these cards here. There's some pretty cool looking ones, the GXs are looking nice. So in Japanese the sets are generally set into two different sets that have got roughly 50-ish cards in them usually, and we get the combination of the two sets. So I'm going to start down here. I'll just mention every single one of them quickly. If it does something interesting then we'll talk in a bit more detail. So I think it sets these up into different ones, so these aren't all the grass ones that we're going to see now. There's going to be some in the other Solomon set. So we start with Cacnea, just a general basic Pokemon, 10 plus dark energy attached to it. Okay, so that tells me that its evolution is going to be dark type, I'd imagine. Memory blank of what Cacnea evolves into. Oh, it's Cacturn, but it's grass type. That's confusing. Anyway, Spike Ren, 30 damage if your opponent's active. It's already had any damage counters on it. This attack does 60 more. That's not bad for one grass energy, I suppose. It's not going to be in any decks anytime soon, but box battle decks, yeah, awesome. I always like those little sort of techie decks kind of things. Grass and a colourless energy hunt. Choose one of your opponent's benched and switch it with their active, and this attack does 40 to the new active. So it puts damage onto an active, and then for you to do 90 damage in the next turn. I guess that's the idea. We've got a Carablast here with an ability. Wear Shell. Once during your turn, you may discard a Shelmet from your hand, then search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and play it on top of this Pokemon to evolve it. So you can evolve it into Excavalier or Excelgor, I think, with the two, if you discard a Shelmet, I guess. Okay, that makes sense really, because both of them are like trade evolution in the game. Just boring attack, yeah. Skiddo, 2 colourless, Seed Bomb, 20 damage. Go with Sap Zipper does 80 more to opponent's grass Pokemon. Okay, okay, if you come up against a grass deck that's okay, but very interesting Alola Marowak. Now this one's actually not too bad at all. Its Fire Dance attack, the first one there, you can see is a free attack. I don't know how this is showing on. So, well, you can see the symbol, meaning free attack. You can't really see the rest of the card because of the way I've got this cropped, but I will move it if we need to in the future for a better card. So choose any number of fire energy from your discard pile to the number of energy attached. Choose a number of fire energy from your discard pile equal to the number of energy attached to your opponent's active.
To your opponent's Pokemon.
So all of their Pokemon.
Yeah, then attach them to which way you like.
That could be a lot of fire energy, which is why this is very interesting. See, even if it was to your opponent's active Pokemon, that could be pretty good. Sort of when they've got set up, you just instantly attach energy just like that. That's actually madness. But all of their energy, ooh. Its attack itself is just 70 times flip 2 coins, basically. But as long as you flip 1 heads, the opponent's active is burned. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I really like that card actually. I can see that being teched in fire decks a lot because that's free. That's pretty damn good. Boring Numel. Continuous headbutt. Flip until you get tailed, it does 30 times the number of heads. Boring. Camerupt. Flip until you get tails, 80 times the number of heads. Yeah, still. Get tails on the first flip, that's what I'd do.
And his attack is just, that's terrible. It's just
too many energy, I
fire,
guess.
too colorless. To do 120 and then burn it. Oh, wow.
It's pretty good, but it's energy intensive and not worth it.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
Very boring Staryu, and a very weird and interesting Starmie. I don't quite know how you'd use this. I suppose it's just as a... I really don't know. Once you're on your turn, you may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. I don't understand the point.
There's got to be something to it, but...
Because it only does 40 damage, it's only got 90 HP, it can't like sponge anything, it can't do anything, it doesn't, there's no... I feel like there's no benefit of it going back into the deck, unless you've put something on it that you want out of your hand and back into the deck. I don't know, I have no idea. Remoraid, pretty boring, 30 damage, an Octillery that is nowhere near as good as the current Octillery being used. One colourless. If the defending Pokemon tries to attack during your next turn, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, the attack does nothing. Yeah. Special Cannon, 40 damage, and you may discard a special energy from this Pokemon, and if you do, this attack does 80 more. So you're going to do 120 for 2 energy, I guess, but you're discarding a special energy, which is not considered. Especially because it's special energy. In a water deck, if it was water energy, maybe not so bad, because Aqua Patch is a thing. But special energy, yeah. Corphish, boring Crabhammer. Crawdaunt, double needle, 80 damage, discard 2 energy from your opponent's active. That, even though it's energy heavy, discarding 2 energy from your opponent's active isn't bad. I don't see it being used, but that's okay. I kind of almost look at these things as I see them as thinking, oh, I'd quite like to see that in a pre-release, because that can just devastate. That could be pretty good. We've got a Shellos here, heal 30 and do 10. We've got a Gastrodon then, maybe? So we got this line of Pokemon right here. So we got a Alolan Geodude, free attack as most Alolan Pokemon do. Flip ahead, and during the next turn, this Pokemon takes no damage. I guess there's another Pokemon that does that as a free attack. Another Alolan Pokemon. I can't remember which one it is. I think it might have been Sandshrew, maybe. Alolan Graveler. Oh, this other attack does 20 damage. Alolan Graveler. Corkscrew Punch, 30 damage to colourless. Lightning, colourless. To self-destruct, 100 damage to itself. Knocks itself out. Fun times! I suppose it does 100 damage and then they don't take a prize card because it's not out on the field. I guess? I don't know. And then...
so much better.
And then there's a Alolan Golem GX. Pretty cool artwork, and I'll spoil it in a minute, but the full art for it's pretty cool looking. We've got the only thing about this is it's really energy heavy. And there's no way that I can remember of how to accelerate energy in lightning decks off the top of my head. So we've got 3 energy for 80 damage. These days 2 energy is probably the best you're gonna get for 80 damage. I'd said some attacks even 1 if you're lucky enough. Its second attack is the main one, and sadly I think Protection Cube has gone out of rotation for standard, but in a expanded deck, Protection Cube with this does 200 damage and it wouldn't do damage to itself. So for 4 energy, 200 damage, that's going to knock out a lot of GXs. If you've got a Choice Band attached to this, it's going to knock out a lot more GXs. If you manage to use a Kukui in the same turn, it's knocking out anything, because I think the maximum HP on GX Pokemon is 250. I think that might be the same for EXs as well, like Megas. I think only have 250 maximum, so... but yeah, the 50 damage to itself is ouch. that is the main problem. But in expanded, I can see how to get around that, but not in standard. And then for the same amount of energy, Heavy Rock GX attack does 100 damage, and your opponent can't play any cards from their hand during the next turn. None. No cards whatsoever. Not a supporter, not an item, not a Pokemon, not an evolution, not an energy. Nothing. Can't play anything. Sadly, that's its GX attack.
It's the only good thing going for it.
Sadly, the GX attack. I feel like that. I mean, 100 damage is maybe a little bit too much for such a heavy cost for your opponent to pay. Okay, moving on, we've got a pretty boring Emolga. 3 basic energy cards from your discard into your hand. I mean, I guess that's okay if you're on the losing and you don't mind it being a little bit of a sacrificial Pokemon, but Volt Switch 30 damage and switch this Pokemon with a Lightning Pokemon on your bench. Okay. Oh, this lineup is pretty cool. I remember seeing the Gengar when it first got revealed and thinking, oh, that's awesome. I like that. So Ghastly will start with Evil Eye, put 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Simple. Then we move up, Pain Amplifier, put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So if you've done a few attacks, maybe with Ghastly, which you probably wouldn't have done because you want to evolve it ASAP because it's only got 50 HP. But yeah, you're building up the damage. Then Gengar has an ability called Eroding Curse, and whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, you place 2 damage counters on the Pokemon. I love that. That's so disruptive. Like, I dare you to place damage. I dare you to place energy on your Pokemon. Of course, there's some decks where this would be a good thing for your opponent. I'm thinking of obviously Drampa using Berserk. Like your opponent could like actually want to damage their bench. Even Tauros, if you place multiple energies on Tauros, you'd self-damaging. Thanks to your opponent's Gengar, that'd be great.
Quite funny. Well, no, 'cause you could do a really shitty, janky deck with cards like this, where it uses Tapu Koko, which does damage to the bench. That does damage to the bench.
Yes.
And then just use other stuff that does damage to the bench.
It's a damage spread deck, isn't it? Yeah. Its attack for a Psychic and a double colourless. Pitch Dark, 70 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. And when I say double colourless, it's obviously 2 colourless energy, so it could be 3 Psychic energy if you really wanted, but generally you want to put a double colourless on it. But just 70 damage for 3 energy. I mean, yeah, they're confused, but Chimecho, Silent Bell, 10 damage. During your opponent's next turn, your opponent can't play Pokemon with abilities from their hand. Excuse me. So, no Tapu Lele for you. Astonish from Pumpkaboo. Choose 1 card in your opponent's hand without looking. Look at the card you choose, and then have your opponent shuffle that card into their deck. Interesting. And it evolves into Gourgeist. Confuse Ray does what it says on the tin. Confuses the Pokemon. And then for 2 colourless
That's a
energy.
Card, not a tin.
Funny. Pumpkin Bond 10 plus. Before doing damage, you may discard any of your Pokemon tool cards in play. This attack does 40 more damage for each tool card you discard. So if you've got tool cards all over your freaking bench and on this Pokemon, that's a lot. So actually don't take it off this Pokemon. If you have a choice band on it, that's doing a lot more. So we have a new Salandit and Salazzle, but these ones are Psychic types instead of Fire types. We got a Salandit that does Singe for a Psychic energy and the opponent's active is burned. And Salazzle... Still burning, even though it's a Psychic type. And Salazzle Nasty Plot, search your deck for 2 cards and put them into your hand and shuffle your deck. That's okay. I mean, it's 2 cards as opposed to 3 like Sylveon does. And it's got a lot less HP than Sylveon, but okay, that's okay. And another single Psychic energy attack, Severe Poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned, but you put 4 damage counters on it instead of 1 between turns. Yeah, I like it. It looks like a really nice it looks like a pretty nice holo card, if I can just move that quickly for you. Yeah, a pretty nice holo card. With all the Salandit in the background. I like that.
Why has it got a creepy looking face to it?
It's a Salazzle, that's why.
Yeah, but look at it.
It's a Salazzle. They've all got creepy looking faces. So yeah, now we are back on to Cubone. So looks like there's only a couple of fighting Pokemon in this, and yes, I was right, Gastrodon is in here, but it has to be a fighting type because it's a ground type in the game. Well, it's water ground type, but yeah. So we have Flip a Coin, if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralysed, and Headbutt. Meh.
Wasn't Cubone? No, is it Marowak does the Alolan and Cubone
yeah, Cubone isn't. I guess that's why Marowak gets a free attack, because there isn't a stage. There isn't a basic version of it.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. And then we got Gastrodon for a fighting and a colourless energy. Ominous Liquid, 30 damage when your opponent's active is confused, which is exactly the same as Psybeam from Espeon GX, but only takes 1 energy to do. And then we have 2 fighting, 1 colourless, Earthquake, 120 damage, and it does 10 damage to each of your benched Pokemon. So it self-damages your own bench. Okay then, Gastrodon. Okay then. So we come up to our first GX Pokemon. So we actually have the English translations for this on the card. Look at that. I'm going to show it to you like that, because it won't fit on the whole screen. So I'm going to sort of leave it there, like that, kind of, and then remember to come back to it. So this attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and they're active for 1 energy. I guess that's okay. Bench damaging is always awesome. 3 fighting energy, 160 damage, and this Pokemon can't attack during the next turn. Boo! Actually sounds a lot like Lapras GX, that particular attack anyway.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
I think it's the same amount of damage as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And its GX attack is 3 fighting energy again, 40 times the amount of your remaining prize cards. So that's better when you are losing. It does a maximum of, now take this, let's say it does a maximum of 40, 80, 160.
Yeah, that's it. It will only do.
No. 160. Then 200. It can do a maximum of 240. Yeah, 240. If you've got all 6 prize cards remaining. But if you've been unlucky enough to be the victim of a different GX attack from a different Pokemon, that might be more. We will get to that at some point. I hope I'm putting this at the right level where you can actually read it. I'm looking at it now, thinking I may have it in the wrong place. But, okay. I'm going to try reading it off the thing and see if this works. So we have Mawile now. Core family. Search it for 2 basic Pokemon and put them on your bench. I feel like some decks will be changing even from Alolan. No,
because Alolan Vulpix doesn't require energy to do it.
Yeah, that's true. And this
may put them on the bench.
Basic Pokemon only, doesn't it? Whereas, yeah. And then Crunch, 30 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy from the defending Pokemon.
I mean, yeah, some decks might use it because it puts them onto the bench, but Alolan Vulpix doesn't require the energy, so you're not wasting energy attachment for a turn.
No.
So it's just one of them, really.
Yeah. Pretty boring. Aaron. Oh my god, that second attack is awful. 1 metal and 2 colourless for 30 damage. That's nothing. Oh dear. I guess it's preparing.
Literally all that is.
I guess it's preparing for the rest of this. So we got Lairon. Does 20 damage and then 80 damage for 4 energy. Ouch. And then this Aggron. Revenge Cannon. Making sure you can see it. Revenge Cannon, 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on each of your benched Pokemon. Okay. Interesting. And then Buster Swing does 120 damage.
And it's not affected
straight
by resistance.
Not affected by resistance. So it can be affected by weakness though. So if you're weak to metal, beware. but it's not affected by resistance, so you're not taking 20 off that. That's basically what that's saying. And then we got Registeel. Now, I've been hearing about
the
Kartana down there. I've been hearing about people wanting to do a Regi deck, and that sounds very interesting because they all rely on each other is basically what it is. So we start here with the Registeel. 1 Metal Energy Turbo Arm, 30 damage, and attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench. That's not bad.
That can help set up the others.
It helps set the others up, which I believe they're all pretty energy heavy-ish. And its second attack's 2 Metal Energy, 1 colourless, Black Steel Fist, 90 damage. If Regice is on your bench, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. So like I said, they all rely on each other being on the bench. So they all have like different benefits from each of their attacks.
Which one's up on the bench, so that's not basically.
Yeah. So 90 damage and heal 30 from this Pokemon if you manage to have Regice on the bench. So we next have the Escavalier that evolves from that Carablast we saw earlier. Metal Energy, flip 3 coins and does 30 damage times the number of heads, so maximum it's doing is 90. For 1 energy, not bad, I guess, but flip 3 coins is never good. 2 Metal Energy, 1 Colourless Energy, Iron Tackle, does 130 damage and 30 to itself. Yeah.
So it puts itself down to 90 HP. Yeah. Awesome. Great.
Yeah. So
not funny, wasn't going to get one shot anyway. But...
So we have this Kartana ability.
Second GX.
The second GX, yeah. So we have the Kartana ability Cut Down. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may discard a special energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I can see this being run with Ace Roller. Oh yeah, I'll just put this back into my hand and place it down again, and you get rid of another special energy. I like it.
You'll never get his attacks off.
Well, maybe.
If you use it in the deck, like, you use Metal Energy, but if you're just going to play it in a deck just for its ability, you're never going to get it.
You wouldn't put this kind of Pokemon into a thing for its ability, I don't think. And then we've got Metal Energy.
Unless you're a Skyfield deck.
Yeah, maybe. Then we got Skyfield's just gone out of rotation, so
expanded.
Yeah, expanded deck. So we've got Metal Energy and 2 colourless for Gale Sword, which does 70 damage, and you reshuffle this Pokemon or cards attached to it into your deck, so it can't escape from battle as well. Which I guess is another way of redoing its ability.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. And its GX attack is actually crazy. You do it for 1 energy, and you take a prize card. Okay, you take a prize card, hope your opponent can't knock it out, and then if you manage to get enough energy to do its Gale Sword attack, you get out of there. I think it's cheeky. I like it.
Or you just be really, really, really jacky. I've got 1 prize card left.
Yeah.
Bench, attach an energy, Guzma, or switch.
Yeah,
take a prize card.
It's an easy way of taking a prize card if you manage to get an energy on this thing. Well, a metal energy on this thing.
Oh, if only it was colourless.
Yeah,
it'd be in every deck.
If it was a colourless attack, it would be a lot more useful. I mean, getting rid of a special energy and then having one energy to do its GX attack.
We could have done a new Tapu Lele type thing. That would have been better.
Onto the next load of boring ones, I guess. We've got Starly. Look for bugs. Yeah, looks like your opponent's hand. Staravia. Looks pretty boring. Staraptor. 20 Pokemon can't retreat, and 120 damage. And if your opponent's active is knocked out from damage from this attack, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench. Oh, okay. But 124. So we get the Regigigas next. Its ability is, if you don't have Regirock, Registeel and Regice in play, it can't attack. Okay. For a whopping 5 energy, Giant Stomp, 160 damage, discard a stadium. Okay, weird. Minchino, boring. What? I've just noticed they're a little bit on the end of this. 10 damage, flip a coin if heads, your opponent's Pokemon is paralysed and you're in trouble. What? What's that even mean?
You're in trouble.
And then Cinccino, huge request, and it's a lot of text as well. Choose 2 cards from your discard pile, show them to your opponent, and ask your opponent if you may put them into your hand. If your opponent says yes, you can put them into your hand. If your opponent says no, you got to return the cards to your discard pile and you do 80 damage to the opponent's active. So it's, I want these cards back please, or you're doing 80 damage. Taking 80 damage. That's not bad. Type null.
If you want to be a janky piece of crap, yeah.
Yeah. Type null. Pretty boring actually. The main feature here is Silvally GX. Has an ability, as long as this Pokemon is in play, all of your basic Pokemon have 0 retreat. Doesn't include itself obviously because it's a stage 1. Fun times. 3 colourless energy, turbo drive, does 120 damage and attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. I like it a lot. It can go in any deck because it's colourless, and there are items which you can attach to this that we'll get to shortly, I know are in this deck. That will change its type so you can hit for super effective, so the 120 might be doing a lot more than that. And then its GX attack takes the same amount of energy, 50 times the number of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So if you have a deck that maybe forces their Pokemon onto their bench, that's doing a lot of damage. If they have a full bench, that's going to do so 50, 100, 150, 200, 250 damage. That's actually a lot. So that can, if they've got a full bench, that can take out the biggest thing in the game. Pretty cool. So we got some items from this first set now. So we have Counter Catcher, which is basically a Lysander, but only if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. Yeah. So you play this card. If you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent, choose one of your opponent's benched and switch it with their active. Cool. It's an item, which is really awesome. But like I said, it only works if you've got more prize cards left. So if you're losing. Peeping Red card. Look at your opponent's hand and you may have your opponent count the number of cards in their hand, shuffle their hand into their deck and then draw that many cards. I quite like this. If they've got something useful in their hand when you look at their hand and you're like, I deny you that. Especially if they've got a low hand, get them to shuffle it in and draw. Pretty cool. So these are those things I was talking about that you can add to Silvally GX. The Psychic Memory and Fighting Memory. So basically what these are going to do is basically make Silvally either psychic or a fighting type. So because Silvally itself probably doesn't have a weakness to psychic, the psychic one especially is really helpful because a lot of psychic types are weak to their own type. So I definitely think that's a good thing. So next we come to the best supporter, in my opinion, being introduced.
Biased.
I may be biased slightly because I absolutely adore Gladion in the game. He is so sassy and amazing. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, but his card exceeds even that. His card is amazing. Look at your face down prize cards, choose one of them and switch it with this Gladion. So it doesn't even go to the discard pile. Put the card you choose in your hand and then shuffle Gladion and the prize cards you looked at and return them face down as prize cards. It doesn't mean you take a prize card, it just means if you've got something really important in those prizes and it's been playing up all game, you can, because it's a supporter card, you can Tapu Lele for it and be like, well, I have something really important I need to get out of these prize cards, Gladion. Easy. I remember there was a game I remember from the Pokemon, I don't know if it was Worlds or Internationals or whatever it was, but I think it was John Kettler had 3 Rowlet in his prize cards and that basically just absolutely wrecked him. So yeah, we've got Gladion to fix that. No problem at all, draw the Gladion, get the Gladion in whatever way you can and use it, get that prize card out of your prizes and use it. That's what you want to be doing. It's awesome. I think that card is so good. So good. And then we've got the full art versions of some of these cards that we saw. So there's a full art Silvally. I actually really like that. It's really pretty. Full Art Gladion. Look at this card. Look at this card. It's so colourful and he's so sassy. He's so
biased.
He's so sassy. Okay, and then we have a Warp Energy, which we didn't see actually in the other bits, but anyway. Warp Energy provides 1 colourless energy, and when you attach this card from your hand to your active, you can switch it with one of your benched. So, pretty cool. I like that. Not bad. Provides a colourless energy, so yeah, I like it. So I'll try and be a bit quicker. I'm sorry, guys. I've been half an hour now. We've only gone through the first set, but I like talking. Okay, hopefully you're enjoying. Poison Sting. I'm trying to drink a cup of tea at the same time. Inside, info. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned by Weedle. Kakuna. Search it for 3 Kakuna and put them onto your bench. Oh god, it's water duplicates spinning Kakuna. Help!
Well, we know what's going to be coming now, don't we?
Its Beedrill does 10 damage. If this Pokemon evolved from Kakuna during your turn, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned and paralysed. Ugh. That's not nice. Sharp Needle, 60 damage. That's underwhelming considering Kakuna just sprouts Kakunas into the bench. That's a little bit underwhelming. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this so you can see kind of what I can see. Because I feel like I'm... Okay. Yeah. So then we have this Execute, pretty boring. Yeah. Shelmet, also pretty boring. Gonna keep going. Excelgor, discard energy, heal all damage. Yeah, it's 90 HP, not worth it. This Magikarp and the Gyarados though, especially the Magikarp. The Gyarados I don't find very good because of its energy cost, which you can see even without me reading it. But the Magikarp has an ability to submerge, and if this Pokemon's on your bench, it can't be damaged by attacks. I presume that means you're active and the opponent's active, so that's pretty cool. And its attack is Waterfall Evolution, which yes has a lot of energy cost, but it's setting itself up for Gyarados GX, so it's fine. Waterfall Evolution, you switch it for a card that evolves in this Pokemon and play it on top of this Pokemon to evolve it. So let's just hope between getting this Pokemon on the bench and getting the right amount of energy on it, you don't draw the Gyarados GX. That would be great. And if you do, I guess you get to use Waterfall for 70 damage from the Gyarados itself. And its second attack, a whopping 5 energy, which is, looking at it, you put 2 DCE and a water energy on there, does 100 damage, and it only does 100 more if there's a stadium in play, but you discard the stadium. So you've got to have a constant rotation of those stadium cards, which I think coming up at the end of this bit there's a new supporter called Lusamine, which will get the stadium back out from the discard pile. So I see that's how people are going to use it if they use this Pokemon. Its GX attack costs 1 energy, and you discard 1 energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. It's okay, I guess. It's not the best GX attack ever, but it'll do. It's only 1 energy. Yeah. Then we've got a water type Swinub. I guess that's Swinub line, so Mamoswine. I guess that's heritage from its ice typing in the games instead of its ground typings. Yeah, those two are pretty boring. I suppose heal 90 damage on this Pokemon. Puts it to sleep though. Ah, help. It's Mamoswine. Let me see. Can't see anything really that. Place up to 9 damage counters on this Pokemon. Its attack does 10 more damage for each damage counter placed in this way. Oh, so you do 90, and then you can do up to 90 more if you need to. So you don't have to do so much damage. It's only however much you need to knock out the opposing Pokemon, I guess. Okay. Now I saw this Feebas and got excited. I thought, oh, Milotic GX, please. No, it's just a holo. Damn it. Oh well. Dodge, 10 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, prevent all effects of the opponent's attacks, including damage on just Pokemon in the next turn. Fine. Evolves into Milotic, which is underwhelming. 1 water energy. Mercy. Choose one of your opponent's bench and that has any damage counters on it, and shuffle that Pokemon and all cards attached to it into their deck. It's not too bad, I guess. yeah, it's okay. Its second attack is pretty energy heavy, 4 energy there, 80 damage, and 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So it's another spreading damage. There's quite a lot to the active though, considering it does bench damage as well, so that's okay. Next we have the Regice, and it has another ability. If you have a Regirock in play, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage onto this Pokemon by your opponent's Stage 2 Pokemon. So if you have, Stage 2s aren't all that common-ish. I mean, the biggest one at the minute is obviously Gardevoir, but yeah. And then just the 70 damage with some attacks. Okay. Pikachu. Draw a card. Pretty boring. Even this Alolan Raichu. Surge Surfer, which is its ability in game. If there's a stadium in play, has no retreat cost. 3 colourless energy psychic, 70 plus, 20 more damage for each energy card attached to your opponent's active. So that's actually pretty similar to Psychic from Espeon GX. I quite like that actually. That's not too bad. 20 more for each energy attached to your opponent's. Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind it. It's not the best ever. It's not the worst ever. Whatever. We've got a Mischievous and a Mismagius that are pretty sure are both very boring. Chaos Wheel, can't play Pokemon Tools, Energy, or Stadiums from your hand during your next turn. Oh. Run it alongside Noivern and all the other things that make you not be able to play everything from your hand. Black Magic, 20 damage times the number of cards in your opponent's hand. Oh! So you stop them from using stuff, and then because you stop them from using stuff, they're building stuff up, and does 20 more damage for everything in their hand. Ooh. I could see that being used actually. You know, bit yanky, but cool. Pretty boring. Can't be confused. Another Oranguru, this time it's a Psychic type. Choose 3 Pokemon Tool cards from your discard pile, show them to your opponent and put them into your hand. Tool, okay. Okay, there was another Pokemon that had things with Pokemon Tools being discarded. I think it was a Gourgeist or something. If it could be used with that, definitely. And then we have another GX Pokemon. Well, I've got a GX attack, but yeah. Nihilistic Light. I didn't butcher it, yay. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to the bench, both active Pokemon are now poisoned and confused. Oops. So if you hope to attack with it, you've got to, I suppose it's doing that to your active, so if you've got a switch then it's not so bad, I guess. Because it's when you place it, so you're not going to take any damage until the end of your turn, so it should be okay as long as you can switch. Lock Up for 3 Psychic Energy does 120 damage and your opponent active can't retreat. Also 3 damage is its GX attack, and this is what I was meaning from before, where if you are unlucky enough to have this GX attack put against you, then oops, you're making whoever else's GX attack do a lot more damage, because you're basically, it adds the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck to their prize cards. So if you have a total of 8 prize cards, then that thing that's doing 50 times the amount of prize cards is doing a lot more. So that could definitely, depending on the deck, work out pretty badly, but obviously adding more prize cards is also ouch, because it sets them back. It's almost like you've taken 2 prize cards. Almost, because you're 2 prize cards closer than they are to the end. I really like that. That could definitely be a very weird deck. It's only got 180 HP and it is weak to Psychic, like I say most Psychic Pokemon are. Oh, we've got a few more fighting types in this. Pretty boring Mankey. Also a pretty boring Primeape. There's a Regirock. Rocky Mountain Howl. Your Registeel's attacks do 10 more damage to your opponent's active. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I said, the Regi deck is kind of a thing-ish. Hard Swing, 110 damage, isn't affected by resistance. Okay. Stuffle, boring. Beware, takes 30 less unless it's a fire Pokemon. 162 evolution Pokemon, if not just 60. Yeah. Houndour, boring. Houndoom, although of course, Houndour and Houndoom are awesome Pokemon. I love them to bits, but in this case, no. Piercing Fang, 90 damage, isn't affected by resistance. It's Crescendo. Dino, Zweilous, and Hydreigon. Let's just go straight to this Hydreigon. Ability Screen Out. Once you're on your turn, you may choose 3 of your bench Pokemon and discard the other bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them. Doesn't knock them out, it just discards them. I quite like that. So if you've got a full bench and you need space on your bench, then this is pretty good. I do like it. Dark Destroy, 120, and you may discard an energy attached to this Pokemon. If you do, discard an energy attached to your opponent's active. Yeah, could set them back. It's okay. Then we have Guzzlord. This one is interesting. This one has inspired me so much to try out a almost like one attack win of the game. Eat Sloppily. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck, and if any of those cards are energy, you attach them to Guzzlord. That's okay. That's really okay, considering both of its attacks cost 5 energy, and you do want to be putting all the dark energy on there because of its GX attack. So its normal attack just does 180 damage, which on its own is a lot of damage, with a Choice Sand that's doing 210, which is on its own a lot. Okay, so that's fine, but its GX attack does 100 damage, not so much. But if your opponent's active Pokemon, or if your opponent's Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this attack, take 2 more prize cards. So my hilarious plan is Whimsicott and Guzzlord. Yes. On a GX Pokemon, Whimsicott and Guzzlord together, if you use Whimsicott's Wages of Fluff, and then switch in next turn to use Guzzlord to take the same Pokemon that was inactive out, boom. 6 prize cards in one go. Because Wages of Fluff does exactly the same thing as this Glutton GX attack. It lets you take 2 more prize cards. So you take 2 prize cards from Wages of Fluff, 2 prize cards from Guzzlord itself, and then if you've managed to knock out a GX or EX Pokemon, you take another 2 prize cards, which, funnily enough, adds up to 6, which is how many you need to take. Awesome! That's a really, really janky and would never work, but I love the idea. I really do. Moving on, we have a Jigglypuff, boring one. Wigglytuff, also pretty boring. Good against dark decks, apparently. Very much worse Xerneas than we've ever seen before. In a sort of thing, it's not as good as the Geomancy one anyway. Search deck for a supporter, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. It's okay, gets a supporter, but it does cost an energy and you do have to have it inactive. It's a little bit of a doesn't do any damage for it. 3 Fairy Energy, Brighthorn 130, can't use Brighthorn during your next turn. Yeah, not good. So we have an Alolan Executor. I don't remember seeing an Execute. Am I going mad? Maybe it's colourless. I don't expect it to have been Psychic type, but I don't remember seeing it. Anyway, Tropical Head does 20 damage times the number of energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I don't read this properly. Does 20 damage times the number of energy attached to this Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it can hit the bench for however much damage the energy you have attached.
Yeah.
I keep reading it completely wrong. So it can hit the active if you really want, but it can hit the bench too. Well, that's pretty cool. I like that. It's got 220 HP. It's pretty fat. So we've got Grass and 3 colourless, pretty hefty again, 120 damage, and your opponent's active is Confused. And its GX attack is 180 damage and move as many energy attached to your Pokemon to other Pokemon in any way you like. Okay, that's okay. It's energy movement. That's not too bad. Anyway, moving on. Jangmo and Hakmo. Into Como, Warcry for 2 colourless, 30 damage. If you have fewer Pokemon you play than your opponent does 90 more. So it can do 120 for 2 energy. That's nice, actually. That's nice. Clanging Scales, which is a thing in the game, I think. 130 damage and during your opponent's last turn. Any damage on a test Pokemon is by your opponent's effects is increased by 30. Ouch. That's not good. Moo Moo Ale from Miltank. As long as this is your active, when you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, you may heal 90 damage from that Pokemon. I see this so much going into a God of War deck. Healing 90 damage whenever you're attaching energy? I see this going into a God of War deck. It's even got 100 HP, which is pretty good for a basic, regular rare at that. It's not even hollow. No, it might be hollow in our set, but it's probably just a regular rare in ours. I think in Japanese they call these uncommons. Then we have Swablu and then Altaria, which I think was pretty boring. Dragon Melody, you can search for a dragon Pokemon and put it onto your bench. Yeah. Bunnelby and Diggersby. It's a mill deck. It's a mill, 90, and discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Okay, 4 energy though, ouch. Dash Pouch. We're coming on to the trainer cards. Sorry this has gone on for so long, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed looking at all the cards at least. Attach a Pokemon tool to one of... Yeah, that's the main thing. When the Pokemon this card is attached to retreats, instead of discarding energy used to retreat, return to your hand. That's nice. That's really nice, but unfortunately it's putting a Pokemon tool card onto a Pokemon that isn't really benefiting the Pokemon too much. So I guess it's better on things that you just want to retreat and you've got the energy to retreat, but you don't want to spend the energy. That's okay. That'll work. There we go. This is the supporter I was meaning earlier. Put 2 in any combination of Stadium and supporter cards from your discard pile into your hand. So this is basically the new Versus Seeker. Except it's a supporter and not an item, so you can't use the supporter that you get from your discard pile straight away, which I guess is balancing it out a lot, because Versus Seeker was so overpowered. As long as you had something in your discard pile, you had basically another copy of it in your hand should you need it with a Versus Seeker. And it's going to be, I have a feeling this is going to be bigger in Stadium decks because of the way it works, like I was saying with that other card earlier, getting Stadiums back for that when you need to discard the Stadium for the attack. So okay, Sea of Emptiness. Sea of Emptiness. Each player's Pokemon that has any special conditions retains those special conditions after evolving or devolving. So if you get this early enough, then that's pretty devastating on your opponent if you're a deck that does special conditions.
So basically Alone and Mark.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Ravaged Plains. The attacks of each Darkness and Dragon Pokemon in play do 10 more damage to the defending Pokemon. This is going straight into my Noivern deck. I love it.
Guzzlord.
Yeah, and Guzzlord because it's Darkness. Each Darkness and Dragon Pokemon. We can see the full-on Guzzlord down there. It's pretty cool looking. Counter Energy. When this card is attached to one of your Pokemon and you have more prize cards remaining, this provides 2 energy of every type. It's amazing, but only if you've got more prize cards left. And I don't know how this is going to work ruling wise. I don't know if it's going to have that effect for the entirety of the game as long as you attach it at the right point. Does that make sense? See, if you go into the lead and you've got less prize cards remaining than your opponent, does it still provide 2 energy of every type, providing that you attached it when you weren't winning? I don't know.
I'm guessing it does because of the way it's worded.
I don't know.
Because it says when this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, including Pokemon GX.
And you have more, right? Yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. It provides 1 colourless energy. On its own it provides 1 colourless energy, or 2 energy of every type if you attach it at the right point. So even if you just need an energy, colourless energy.
It's excluding GX and EX.
Yeah, it is. That is true. It is excluding. So it's good for non-EX GX Pokemon, but it's still very, very good. So let me get just at the bottom of the page here the full art Guzzlord and the full art Lusamine, and I'll go a bit further into this one because it's quite pretty. Can I shrink it a little bit for you. There we are. That's a pretty card. That's a pretty card. I like it. So yeah. Thank you guys for sort of putting up with me today. Babbling on for what must be 50 minutes. I'm sorry guys. But I really enjoy looking at the new cards that we're getting. I hope you do too. So yeah, I love them, and we shall see more when the English cards come out on, is it November 3rd? Yeah, November 3rd. We shall see
a box opening.
A box opening.
Or two.
Yeah, or maybe two. And maybe a box battle as well, so we can see how that would work. I want a Reggie deck. If I do manage to do that, it'd be hilarious.
Oh shit.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.